Behind the closed doors of the homicide office, Lee Oswald is being questioned about the killing of President Kennedy. At the other end of the hall, Chief Jesse Curry is answering questions concerning the events leading up to the arrest of Lee Oswald.
Communist or Marxist? There's a slight difference. I don't know.
Yeah, they say he said he was a communist now.
Chief, did the FBI or your department have him under surveillance prior to yesterday?
No, sir, we didn't have knowledge that he was in the city.
Did the FBI?
I understand that they did know he was here and had interviewed him, a week or two ago.
Did they warn you of his presence in the city?
No, they had not at the time we, up till yesterday.
Do you think they should have?
Well, they usually do. They keep us informed. If we don't have knowledge of it, they usually, in liaison with us, they usually let us know when these communist sympathizers or subversives come into the city. And why they hadn't gotten around to informing us of this man, I don't know.
Can you detail for us Oswald's movements yesterday, before and after the assassination, as you know them now?
All I know about it is that a man brought him to work yesterday morning. He had a large package with him, which we believe to be the rifle. The next we know of him, a porter in the building took him up to the 6th floor at shortly after 12 o'clock. And he was next seen on the 2nd or 3rd floor in a lunchroom in the building.
By whom and after the assassination was this?
After the assassination, by one of the first officers that went into the building and the manager of the building. The next knowledge we have of the man is when he shot our officer over in Oak Cliff.
Why is it that he was not arrested when the officer saw him the first time?
Because the manager said he was an employee. He said, he's all right, he's an employee. And in the rush to get up to the floor where the shooting occurred, the officer passed him on by when the manager told him that this is one of the employees.
Chief, are you aware of a letter that he is supposed to have written to Governor Connolly when Governor Connolly was Secretary of the Navy and when he was an enlisted man in the Marine Corps, asking to have his dishonorable discharge set aside, and which request was refused?
No, sir, I don't know.
I bring this up because I have heard this report, and it might indicate that his actual target may have been the governor of Texas instead of the President of the United States.
I don't know anything about it.
Is it your belief that his actual target was the President of the United States?
Yes, I think it was. I think it was him.
Do you have any evidence to support that belief?
No, sir.
You
Except that he hit the president twice. And he apparently was an expert marksman, and he apparently was hitting what he was shooting at.
Can you estimate the range from the window from which the shots were fired to the car in which the men were hit?
I would estimate it about 75 yards.
75 yards on the slant.
Now, what did you find in his apartment, Chief? Did you find some communist literature in his apartment?
Yes, we did.
Chief, you said that the FBI usually informs you if these suspected subversives are in your community. Were there others? If, for instance, if they had informed you about Oswald, what would you have done? Would you have taken special precautions on him with the president coming to town?
I don't know what we would have done.
There is no normal procedure for this type of thing.
That's right.
Do you think that the assassination could have been avoided, Chief?
I don't know how the FBI knew he was
But
here.
they did evidently interview him.
When did they tell you this, Chief?
Yesterday.
They told you yesterday after the incident.
Did they say what information they had gotten from him? If they evidently, did they indicate that it wasn't enough to warrant telling you in advance?
I don't know.
Do you think
anybody under custody yesterday? Anyone else?
No, we didn't have anyone in custody. We knew the movements of some people.
How many?
Oh, less than a half a dozen.
5?
Were they being watched?
Well, we knew where they were.
His marksmanship, was that something he perfected in the Marines, or?
That I don't know.
Chief, I hate to keep on about the paraffin test, but if it's on both hands, it would indicate that he handled the rifle. Do you know what they
I don't know. I imagine they took it on both hands. I only saw them taking it on one hand when I was in there. They were working on one hand.
There's a report that one of the detectives, the name of Brown, has said that the paraffin test on both hands was positive.
They probably did.
This indicates
positive on both hands?
This indicates that he only
as far
shot
as
a
I know,
gun.
all I know is this. I have the information, not officially. I haven't had a report.
That was positive on both hands.
If you fire a handgun, will it show up on your hand?
Yes.
as opposed to a shoulder.
What does a paraffin test prove then, Chief?
Just proved that the man fired a weapon.
But you believe he is the man who fired the rifle that killed the president?
Yes, I do.
Did the FBI tell you?
From the office of Dallas Police Chief Jesse Curry, we have been receiving details about the movements of Lee Oswald before and after the assassination of President Kennedy. The chief has made a point of the fact that the FBI, while holding Oswald under surveillance prior to the president's visit, did not alert his department of that fact. This is Tom Pettit, NBC News, reporting from the office of Chief Jesse Curry of the Dallas Police Department.